It's time for another edition, Volume 2 of Barely Inbounds with GolfObserver.com's Sal Johnson, and I'm the Fish, Jeff Aaron. Today's edition includes Tiger Woods playing long ball with Dustin Johnson and Jimmy Fallon, and a super golfing baby is born, plus changes taking place on the PGA Tour. Sal, let's begin with the changes. You deem these as very important. The PGA Tour is talking about the Nationwide Tour and how golfers qualify for the PGA Tour. What's this situation all about?
Well, it was reported by Doug Ferguson of Associated Press yesterday, but it's not the story that impresses me. It's that Ty Vota has come out and confirmed all of this, that the PGA Tour is talking about taking the Nationwide Tour and basically making those tournaments after the FedEx Series important, where you take 3 Nationwide Tour events, and that's how players get their tour card. It's a combination of the Nationwide Tour has no sponsor after 2012, so they're desperately looking for something. They're trying to give that tour a little pizzazz, and the fact that they're trying to combine the PGA Tour and the Nationwide Tour so that people get their PGA Tour cards. Instead of having a fall series of 4 tournaments that are meaningless, you'll make them into something that's a combination Nationwide Tour, PGA Tour. I think it's a pretty good thing. I think it's going to work, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Do the golfers like it?
I think that some of the golfers like it, but of course, it's not meant to be a thing that you like. It's basically like going to Q school. It's a different way of having Q school to make it more appealing to sponsors and to make it more appealing to possible TV network.
All right, moving to our next topic. Tee times have been released for the first 2 rounds of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And Tiger Woods is paired up with one of the longest hitters on the tour, Dustin Johnson, and this no-name winner on the tour, Gary Woodland. An interesting matchup. And I always think Tiger now, he kind of gets a little intimidated when Dustin Johnson's blasting the ball by him by 40 yards on every tee box.
Well, we have to remember, 12 years ago, Tiger Woods was the longest hitter in golf. And now he's calmed down a little bit, doesn't, go after the ball like he used to. He could still hit it a long way, but it's a good pairing, 3 good players. I also like the other pairing. You have Jim Furyk with Graham McDowell and Bob Watson. That should be, pretty interesting.
Tiger Woods has also been in the news and starting, as you mentioned a week or so ago, making more and more appearances with the media. But I'm not sure he's happy about his appearance on Jimmy Fallon. Here's a clip of Tiger Woods taking some shots instead of delivering them on Jimmy Fallon's late-night TV program.
I want to say thank you for having the courage to come on a late-night comedy program. I appreciate it. Honestly, I got to commend you for that. Thank you for doing that, because it must have been painful and awful situation, the whole thing that you went through. But from a comedian standpoint, and my monologue writers, thank you so much. That was some of the greatest comedy that we could ever. I mean, you must have heard every golf joke in the history of the. But that is like a magical thing to happen. Your awful pain, and we laughed at your pain. And I mean, not even making jokes. It kind of wrote itself. I mean, balls, shaft, holes. Foursomes. I mean, it really writes itself. I just want to say thank you.
Sal, Tiger Woods, much of a sense of humor?
It's funny. No sense of humor. It's one of those things where he's just selling a lot of video games on this. He did not like this moment at all.
Jimmy Fallon taking some shots, but Tiger Woods has provided perhaps more late-night comic fodder and more fodder for golf talk shows, so I thank him as well. So I'm right on board with Jimmy Fallon. Thank you, Tiger, for making my life and my show more interesting. Sal, this as the golf season gets closer and closer to the Masters, a lot of golfers have earned their way to a shot at the Masters. Jonathan Bird, Mark Wilson, this hot guy Johnny Vegas who's tearing up the golf headlines, Rory Sabatini, and even Gary Woodland. A lot of these no-name winners this year have earned a spot in Augusta, and that's probably the goal of most golfers, is to play on the hallowed grounds of Augusta National.
Well, it's also made the field. It's up to 99. It'll probably go up to 100. A couple of players could get in this week. It's one of those things where Augusta may not like it because of the fact that they like their field at about 87 to 90. I think it's a great deal that Augusta does to allow tour winners to play. So, we can't really argue about these guys getting in.
And perhaps a super baby was born this week in golf. Annika Sorenstam, the most acclaimed women golfer of the modern era, delivered yet another child. Do you have the baby details for us?
Well, it came on her Twitter account. 2 months premature, William Nicholas McGee was born yesterday at 6:33 on Monday afternoon. A big surprise to everyone because of the fact that it came so early. It's the second child for them, and like you say, it's a super child.
We barely kept it in bounds. No two-stroke penalty today. He is Sal Johnson from GolfObserver.com. I'm the Fish. Fish online right here on GameTimeNorthwest.com.